Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. So this is a continuation of last night's stream. This one, once again, is not going to be too long. So I finished the bit of the Diallo Kenyatta stream that I needed to finish, and I finished the entire because I only had gotten 15 minutes in to Sarge Willie Pete stream. And what we see is that Diallo really struggles with, like I said last night, that black women are saying they're leading. If black men are not, there is, better yet, there is no democratic rule. There is no equality. There is no egalitarianism. Any talk of egalitarianism would lead to a default matriarchy or gynocracy. Period. You know, Diallo spent much of this stream, links in the description, speaking about or speaking to black women as if they don't understand who Dr. Umar is, and that Dr. Umar Johnson speaks positively about black women and about black people, black men marrying black women. Um, and he mentions Jesse Williams, and when Jesse Williams gave that award, accepted that award, and how he was speaking about black women in general, but then he come to find out, according to Diallo, he's quote unquote dogging his wife. Um, Diallo, the man, wife bought him, and he started making money, and he went to more attractive women. Oops. I'm not saying it's right. I wouldn't do it, but let's call a thing a thing. Number one. Number two. Diallo continues, and he also mentions Dr. Umar, he mentions Derek Jackson. And what Diallo says is often when he speaks to black women about this, what they appreciate about Dr. Umar, and they'll say, that's enough. He at least he says this and at least he says that. And I'm like, Diallo, to tell you the truth, you don't get it. You don't get what they're saying. You're hearing that's enough, and you don't really fully appreciate what black women are saying. They're saying Dr. Umar Johnson kissed the ring. They're telling you that he paid homage. That was good enough. He was in public and he kissed the ring. You know the thing I'm telling you, that's what black women are really saying. They're saying that he paid respect to the matriarchy. That's what you're missing, right? And shout out to Sarge Willie Pete for at the end of his live or his video, better yet, the end of his video playing that clip of the black woman straight up saying, yeah, I had a benevolent, great man. I had a great man, and I would not listen to him. I wouldn't even listen to my own father. Ooh, goddamn. Right? And then you hear the other woman who says a man is supposed to get down with the woman's program. The woman, the queen, her words, is who she's the one who makes the king. First of all, side note, personal. This king and queen talk is real cringy to me. I do not refer to my lady as no damn queen. She does not refer to me as a king, and if she did, I would cringe. What? I don't know, something about king and queen talk just right. So excuse me, Diallo really struggles with owning that this is what the women are saying, because this is what they mean. So if Diallo is saying that he's having conversations with black women and they appreciate Dr. Umar Johnson because Dr. Umar Johnson is at least speaking positively about black women, he's still missing that what the women are really saying is that Dr. Umar Johnson is kissing the ring. And he's reprimanding black men for having the unmitigated gall to be perusing around and gallivanting around with non-black women, particularly attractive non-black women. Black women are telling you, you don't, yo, black woman whisperer ears aren't on. They're telling you what it is. You're not registering what they're really saying. What they're really saying is, yeah, black men are doing it the right way. The black men like Dr. Umar Johnson are doing it the right way. They kissing the ring, they kissing ass, they paying homage, they're reprimanding black men in public, especially black famous rich men that have non-black women, right? That's all. Listen, Dr. Umar Johnson can build a whole goddamn career off of that. Wait a minute. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No? It's interesting listening to like y'all don't understand. I don't just be calling these people intelligent just because. I'm not placating them. Intelligent people. Detroit, you see what I'm saying? That's why I said, uh-oh. Detroit said he actually did. You see what I'm saying? But I don't call these people intelligent just to placate them. No, you listen to Diallo talk, you see how he thinks, how he puts things together, how he's able to recall different quotes out of books and different things that, some of the black scholars of yesteryear said, and, but it never fails. From FD to Diallo Kenyatta to Dr. Jared Ball to all the rest of them. Once we start speaking about black men, black women, or once we just start speaking about black women, all of a sudden, all of that go out the window. Diallo, the black women that you are referring to that give Dr. Umar Johnson a pass, they give him a pass because he kisses the ring. They're not bamboozled. They're not tricked. They like that Dr. Umar Johnson goes around reprimanding black boys and men for doing anything with any non-black woman, and they enjoyed that he kisses the ring in public. He pays homage in public. I'm saying it like that because that's what he's doing. I didn't say he's just speaking positively about black women. I'm saying he's kissing the ring. I'm not being hyperbolic with my language. I'm being accurate. I'm not being incendiary. I'm being accurate. I'm not being bombastic. I'm being accurate. So you can try to speak to black women like they don't understand what Dr. Umar Johnson is doing. And no, Diallo, consider, as an elder, consider for a second that it's not that they don't understand what Dr. Umar Johnson is doing. It's that you don't fully appreciate that they love what Dr. Umar Johnson is doing. And they said it to you, whoever the black women that you're referring to are, they said it to you and you really didn't get it. Diallo Kenyatta, in my description box for this video right here, for the video I'm recording right now, is another link to Sarge Doc. Sorry, I was about to say Doc. Well, he is a Doc, right? Sarge Willie Pete, right? The last about 2 to 3 minutes of that video, go ahead and listen to that and listen to black women speak about their queendom, right? Listen to black women speak about their queendom. You don't appreciate what they're saying. It's not that you're dumb. It's that you don't appreciate what they're saying. Dr. Umar Johnson is kissing the ring and paying homage. As I said last night, I didn't even get to that part last night. And I already called it for what it was. They said, hey, it's a patriarchy or a matriarchy if you want to be kind, a gynocracy if you want to be accurate. But it won't be no egalitarian talk. Nope. They'll pretend like it is. It'll be egalitarian in name only. And really, it's a matriarchy if you want to be kind, of gynocracy if you want to be accurate, right? Hmm. So listening to Diallo speak with Skip Coon, and they're speaking like, these men, these Dr. Umars, they speak like they're all about black women, but they be dogging black women, they be playing black women. And you think black women care? Black women will spend some good money to be played as long as you saying the right things. Ooh, I wasn't supposed to say that out loud. Mm? As long as you on your knees, as long as you bowing down, as long as you're paying homage, as long as you kissing the ring, right? Ah, these are people, y'all, like, are talking heads, are thinkers in the black community. And when we start speaking about black man, black women relationships, black women in a vacuum, all these people just, their brain goes to melting. They think they saying something. What are you saying? Diallo thinks that he's saying something to these black women. What do you think you're saying to them? They appreciate Dr. Umar Johnson for paying homage, for paying fealty verbally to the gynocracy. And brothers like you don't really appreciate it. Who funds Dr. Umar Johnson the most? Is it black men or is it black women? They're paying him because he does what they want. They're not bamboozled, they're not tricked, they're not dumb, right? He didn't pull the wool over their eyes, right? And from Africa I came says, imagine thinking of yourself as a revolutionary, but you scared to critique black women neoliberalism. They won't. They won't. And as I said last night, and as I've been saying, if they don't think it's their place as black men because they're afraid that it's going to come off sexist and misogynistic, et cetera, fine. Are there black women doing it? No. And there you go. Because you can see it in Diallo. He has this obsession with speaking about patriarchy as if women don't want patriarchy, just minus the part where the men lead. Oops. Minus, yeah. And let me call a thing to Skip Coons and to Diallo. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, women in general, black women specifically, yeah, they paying it forward for the one day that maybe we got to go downstairs and make sure everything is okay. Yep, she's washing the dishes and washing the clothes, and yeah, yep, you're right. And if it never happens, it never happens. But yeah, you're right. It's interesting, and it was funny listening to them say that and like kind of like minimize that part. Oh, she doing all of that so that the one day that you might have to, yeah, yeah, because all the washing dishes pale in comparison to me maybe losing my life going downstairs to see what went bump in the night. You absolutely right. Yep, you absolutely right. Hmm. Because she wouldn't go do it. You give her the gun, she still won't do it. You not at the house, you give her the gun, she still won't do it. Huh? And that's just something that the Diallos of the world don't think that women are willing to do. It's as if he's telling women something that they don't already they that excuse me that they haven't already come to terms with. They don't want to go downstairs when something go bump in the night. They don't. Not saying that the men do, but they won't. Ooh, yeah, you heard right. The women won't, especially if there's a man there, right? Especially if there's a man there. So y'all heard that clip from Sarge. It said everything you needed to hear. That clip from Sarge said everything you needed to hear. Oh my God. She straight up said it like, yo, this is straight up matriarchy land over here, right? Alexa, play the clip of Tupac throwing up the West Side, please. It's straight matriarchy over here. And all she did was verbalize a sentiment that many black women buy into. That the FDs and the Diallos and the Dr. Jared Balls just refuse to accept, and the Geechee Yaws just refuse to accept, and the Skip Coons just refuse to accept that there's a sizable number of black women, most that's how they think and that's how they feel. It will be matriarchy. There is no egalitarianism. Black women don't actually want that. No women actually want that. You know what ends up happening? These brothers come into contact with some card carrying, 10 toes down, actual real feminists that know what this is going to cost and that are okay with it. And they think that's women. Meanwhile, Anne Marie Slaughter is telling you that when she tell women what this look like, they're like, yeah, check please. Right? Because y'all don't want to own that the women, they're not signing up for this. Do they want men to still be providers? Yes. Protect them in case of emergency or danger? Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. But are they appreciative of what has to come with that? Absolutely not. And watching as Diallo ignores that, because like, I was thinking about this. Does he really, is it that he doesn't know, or is it that he just doesn't want to accept it? Is it that Skip Coon doesn't know, or is it that he doesn't want to accept it? Is it that FD Signifier doesn't know, or is it that he doesn't want to accept it? Is it that foreign man in a foreign land doesn't know, or is it that he doesn't want to accept it? Is it that T1J doesn't know, or is it that he doesn't want to accept it? Is it that Conscious Lee doesn't know, or is it that he doesn't want to accept it? Right? Is it that Dr. Jared Ball doesn't know, or is it that he doesn't want to accept it? Huh? Keep on pestering black men about this patriarchy and this, in their mind, this want to be a chocolate dip white patriarch. Meanwhile, your daughters, black women, black girls, are screaming, envious as hell because they're not the white female, white upper class female. I said female because they want to be the white upper middle class little girls and then the white women. Right? And I hear nothing from y'all. Nothing. Right? But of course not. So, listening to Diallo and then listening, it's crazy because you listen to Diallo. Which one did I finished listening to Sarge Willie Pete first, and then I listened to the rest of the Diallo stream. And it's like Sarge Willie Pete plays the lady saying queen, saying, essentially queen make kings. Queens make kings. And that you as the man are gonna get down with her and listen to the outrage in her voice when the brother was like, "Oh yeah, well if that's what you want, then it's his place to move on." And she was like, "Right? If you're on, this is my queendom. You get comfortable and you bow down." Essentially, what she was saying, you bow down and kiss the ring to the queendom, to the matriarchy, to the gynocracy. And when he says, "Yeah, a man that has his head on right and that's doing his thing, yeah, he ain't gonna get down with that." You heard her. Did y'all hear the sound in her voice? She was appalled. You imagine. I'm sorry. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. You imagine being a brother earning 75, 80, 90, 100, 120, 150, $200,000 a year, and a black woman. Well, she takes it past where Ebony is. This is past where Ebony K. Williams is, right? She take it past that. She ain't talking about no partnership. No, she talking about you bowing down to her rule. You imagine. You imagine that you're an executive or you own your own business, you running things, you having things, and the woman you're with thinks she run things. No, 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 no. Sorry, Z. Wrong, wrong. She knows she run things. She knows she run you. And she looking at you like, yeah, you better come home and kiss the ring, pay homage, put your face where it need to be. uh, Imagine. Huh? And the women that think and move like this in the black community, they don't go critiqued. Nobody say anything. We act like they don't exist. Or we act like they exist because black men are so defective and deficient. Even after the brother said, yeah, but we're talking about men, that they got their head on their shoulders. They doing the right thing. They making it. And the lady essentially said, yeah, well, I don't get what you're saying. They need to be kissing the ring too. Right? So, and I'm trying to go and like get my recorder so that I can record this and play it for y'all like live on this. But yeah, so this needs to be said. It needs to be said. We need to remember that this is what we're up against. Black men that act like this don't exist, and black women that are telling you to kiss the ring, and then black men that are acting like black women aren't telling you to kiss the ring. Right? Bow down, know your place. Right? And black men that are telling you, yeah, the issue is that you want to be patriarchal. You're right. Because the women want a matriarchy or gynocracy. But I don't hear none of y'all saying nothing about that. Everything but in name. They'll take the egalitarian name and turn it into a matriarchy. Huh? And make black men second-class citizens in their own community. That part. And where will the Diallo Kenyattas be then? Nowhere to be found. Don't got nothing to say. Huh? So listening to Dr. Umar Johnson, listen to Diallo critique Dr. Umar Johnson, and then speak to black women like they don't get it. Black women, I hear y'all, and I hear y'all. Y'all want him to talk like this, yeah, because he's paying homage. You speaking like these black women are being tricked. Are they? Or do they appreciate the way Dr. Umar Johnson sounds? Are they thinking this is how you're supposed to sound? This is what it's supposed to be. And is it that you just don't appreciate that this is what black women want to hear from black men? Fine, Diallo, not all. Fine, not all. I ain't gonna. I'm not gonna say it's not most. I'm not gonna say that. Hmm? Do you really not understand the appeal of Dr. Umar Johnson to these women? If you said you talked to a black woman or you spoke to black women and they said, well, at least he's doing that, they're telling you that. They're telling you what it is. They meant it the way they said it. You're the one who's struggling to accept it. So that's the problem that we're having here with this is that even when black women tell a black man like a Diallo what it is, they still don't want to accept it. So what do you do with brothers like that, right? And you're listening to him speak about Jesse Williams. I'm like, yeah, black women love that. They loved when Jesse Williams did that at an award ceremony and just start waxing poetic about how great black women are and how we're going to have their back and we're going to be there for them. And he made it sound pretty romantic. And then you find out he out here with an exotical. Uh, he did what he was supposed to do. Because guess what? For the longest in Jesse Williams' ex marriage, his wife was the one with the money. So he knew how to pay homage. He knew how to kiss the ring. Oh, and the second he got a chance not to do that, guess what? And we'll pause right here. Y'all give Mr. Z 1 second. Okay, we're back. We're back. I'll bet you y'all talking crap. Let me see what y'all saying. Okay, y'all not. Y'all not. I did not. Two biscuit, two burrito, please. I am not getting breakfast right now. I'm not getting breakfast. I had breakfast already. I had breakfast. But what I was doing was making sure to get the recording so that we can see what Mr. Z is talking about. And so let me read this first. And D Scott says, "Shout out to the Miami Mall aliens. Could have been tall divestors. No one knows." Oh man, look, yeah, we got divestors down here. We definitely got divestors in South Florida, in the Tri County area. You definitely in Miami, yes, but uh it's mm, Miami's kind of segregated. Like we got black women that are married to white men. Don't get it twisted. We talking about Miami-Dade County right now, so not the Broward County and Palm Beach County, but particularly Miami-Dade County. The Haitians pretty much stay with the Haitians and the Black Americans and the Jamaicans and the Bahamians. Um, Latinos, the Cuban community, Puerto Rican, Dominican community kind of live around each other, mainly Cuban. The white folks stay around the white folks, some white Latinos, some black people that made it, some black Caribbean people that made it into their neighborhoods. But Miami is kind of segregated, number one. So like the ability black women got to go out of their way for the most part. Some schools are maybe a bit integrated, so maybe a black young girl could pull a Latino boy, a Latino dude, young man, but like for the most part a black woman kind of has to be like she has to put herself in the position to be with a non-black dude, right? She has to like put herself in those environments, and it's not exactly the most welcoming, especially in the Latino environments. As a matter of fact, not having sex with, but straight up like relationship that will lead to marriage, a black woman in Miami might have an easier time with a white dude than a Latino dude, right? Because that Latino dude, first of all, does he even see her like that? Secondly, their family, whoo, those abuelas, I don't know. I don't know. So let me play this so that we can make sure that if Diallo is listening in, if he got this far, and this is why I usually like to play these clips within the first 5 or so minutes, but now we're pretty much 35 minutes in. If he got this far, so he can understand what we're talking about. So y'all bear with. Y'all already know shoestring budget, Velcro budget, spit shine budget, and here we go. All right, y'all. Here we go.
I'm saying? So I understand what that means. Because now here's the question: what is this a headstrong woman? What I said. In other words, men who are raised don't think that women are. Let me say this: I have to put this on record. I run my family. I'm just gonna come out and say that shit. I run my shit. I run my family. My husband is the extension of running the family, but I run my family. When it comes to decisions, I have the last say so. Okay, Don. So you asked me yesterday. What? I have the first say so. Okay, so here's what I'm saying. Don, you asked me yesterday. What does a man do when he comes across that woman? And I told you, he stops his pursuit and he has to pursue someone else. Doesn't make any sense to me. Like a grown ass man who sees the benefit of the situation falls in line. He's from his position. He becomes the king of fucking household. I mean, it's very look at the need and it's very in other people's castles. They build their own. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Okay. So you're saying queens, hold on. So you're totally neglecting the entire aspect of the fact that the king's position in most matriarchal society is given to him because of the fucking queen. Oh, well, you're literally saying niggas don't move into this shit. Let me acknowledge what you just said.
Oh, okay, so this is my issue, and so I look at somewhat to a certain extent Diallo, Dr. Jared Ball, Dr. Umar Johnson, FD Signifier. I look at them kind of like this brother speaking to these two black women. It sounded like it was at least 2 or 3 black women, where they had to say matriarchy for him to get it. Bro, they were talking over you. I don't care if they're the host. They were talking over you. They were talking over you, number one. Number two, she was saying matriarchy without saying matriarchy the entire time. The other young lady was telling you, and she said she torpedoed a marriage. I want you to understand. She wasn't just talking about no rinky-dink relationship. She said she torpedoed her marriage because she moved off her own inclination, and when her husband was doing his thing, she was questioning everything. Number one, number two, number three. Notice what they were saying. The women make the men. The lady told you, I run my family. I have the last word. Then she said, Kenyatta think is gonna accept egalitarian community, an egalitarian familial model. I said it already. When they say egalitarian, they really mean matriarchy, really gynocracy. So you could talk all that. Anything outside of a patriarchy gonna default to a matriarchy gynocracy. They talking about men falling in line. Y'all hear them? And the brother had to, it's all the way when they get all the way to saying the literal word matriarchy, that's when it hit him. Look, man, Mr. Z is like this on everything, not just black man, black women talk. I'm like this with non-black folks too. I don't have to wait for them to say the N word with the hard ER for me to be like, oh, I didn't realize he was racist. What? Right? And for all of you that don't get it, maybe that's what needs to, maybe that's the issue. Maybe, y'all need to think about this like how you would think about speaking to a anti-black person, a racist person, right? Where for many of us and for most of us, we could smell that person, from a million miles away. You don't wait for them to say the N word or to call a black person a monkey or to imply or suggest something about low IQ or low impulse control or something like that. You already know, right? You already know. So why is it that black women get all the way to saying matriarchy for you to be like, oh, Diallo, this is what it is. FD, this is what it is. And you'll be damned if you think um PhD and advanced degree black women don't think just like this. Shout out to um Sorin, right? Sorin told you she was losing herself when she was married to her husband. She felt as when they got divorced, that's when she was like, "Oh, I was losing myself," and I was and we don't even know if Sorin was married to a black man. She could have been married to a white man for all we know. And she told you she was losing herself. You ah woo! All those grapevine episodes, excuse me, episodes. They had one with married women, and you hear married women talking about maintaining their independence while being married. What in the hell is that? Ah, woo, Diallo, you sure you want to get into this? As I said to FD, all you're doing with this quote unquote resilience talk is preparing black men to get ate and destroyed by black women that think like this. That's all you're doing. And D Scott, once again, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. That's all you're doing, right? You know, I laugh to keep from crying. Not really crying, but that's what you have to do. You have to laugh at this because we're talking about black men that pretend like they don't get it. Diallo, you're not dumb. You're not dumb by a long shot. The black women that they're telling you. They're telling you, as I said before, that he paid homage, that he got down and bowed down. They're telling you, you're just the one that doesn't want to accept it. You're the one who doesn't want to accept it. Right? Right? So now what? These people that don't know how to drive. Just yeah, thank you, ma'am, thank you for actually knowing how to drive in a garage, in a tight space garage. Thank you. Right. So I'm going to continue to cover stuff like this because I think what we need is if these people are going to be the talking heads in the black community and the social critiquers and the people that kind of are supposed to teach us a better way or a different way, then fine. And you barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen, and that's your role. That's your. This is not about flipping this idea of human doing to black women. You are human doing. You are supposed to be popping out babies. This is your goal in life. You have no other goal in life. Y'all need to stop pretending like black. Call a thing a thing. Z, you gotta say it. I'm gonna say it. Your sons are not trying to be white patriarchs, but your daughters are. Ooh, Z. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Uh-oh. Yeah, you heard right. So now that we have them on wax speaking about matriarchy, now what, Diallo? You think it's just her? The other young lady was saying, the other black woman was saying the same thing. So you think it's just two black women out of the millions of black women in the black community that think like this, that move like this, that operate like this? Huh? Huh? Black women said either you buy me, right? Either you buy me and make this a patriarchy, or it will be a matriarchy. And I'll let the technocrats and I'll let the social designers and I'll let all these people, these talking heads, talk about egalitarianism, and I'll say, yeah, 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 and really matriarchy. Really gynocracy. So hey, I'm gonna play this one more again, but yeah. So now what? And for those of you, that's the clip I was talking about from Sarge Willie Pete. Shout out to Sarge Willie Pete for playing that for us. Y'all go ahead and play that. It's like I said, it's like the last about 4 minutes of his previous stream about offering your way through, right? But yeah, y'all go ahead and play that. Y'all need to download it and clip that out and play it whenever your mom or your aunts or your girl cousins or your sisters start talking crazy. Play that for them, right? Play that 1-2-5 speech. That way they can still understand it. Because there's no more talk. Shout out to Willie D. No more talk, right? All these black talking heads, all these black pundits. Now what? Even if this was 1% of black women in the black community, let's be honest, it's way more than 1%. Even if it was 1%, this is a 1% that goes unaddressed. A 5%, a 10%, it's way more than 10% that goes unaddressed. Y'all never talk about this. Ever. No one talks about this. Didn't we have the other clip of the black woman, having said black woman with the glasses, that was speaking about the black community being a matriarchy? I think Compassionate and Callous has it on his page. BGS played it before, right? Dr. Tiason Johnson telling us whenever a young black woman in these universities brings up any type of talk of matriarchy, she gets hushed up. Huh? About how the black community might be a matriarchy, she gets hushed up. Jake, like this is what that exactly what you're saying. And Jake says calling marriage a patriarchal structure while participating in it, question mark, hypocrisy. Bruh, that's what feminists like, that heterosexual feminists, that's why radical feminists and lesbian feminists, that's why they call them hypocrites, because they know they full of crap. You talking crap about men while you're sleeping with them, having children with them, and more importantly, living under the umbrella, oftentimes, of their resources. Huh? They know them. They know those. At least for heterosexual feminists, they know that these heterosexual feminists don't really mean that crap. They get called out all the time by radical feminists and same sex loving feminists, because they know they full of crap. It's it's the proverbial stay-at-home mom, white woman or black woman, who or non-black woman, non-white woman, um who talks all that crap. I am woman, hear me roar, but she works some little part-time whatever just to get out the house, or she lives off of her husband, right? So yeah, a lot of those women engage in that, man. A lot of those women engage in that. And let's play this one more again, and then we will read KMS's comment. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Y'all already know. Here we go.
Alright, so I just want to add in, yes, I want to confess that what he is saying is absolutely true. And the way he's thinking about it and the way he's expressing it is true for very many men. I myself ruined a wonderful, fantastic, benevolent relationship because I moved when I got the fucking inclination to move. But when he got the inclination to move, it was like, nigga, you got me fucked up. Like, I absolutely would not move on this nigga say so. And I moved a lot on my own personal motherfucking say so. nothing no more. Okay, you know my husband. But after that shit, after I learned to fucking listen to me, nigga, and I realized what I was doing, I was like, it was my biggest blessing. So I'm not saying that all men. Don't get me wrong. I don't want anybody to be confused into thinking that I'm suggesting that all men know what they're doing. I'm not saying that all men have good leadership skills or even know where they're going. I'm not saying all men. What I am saying though specifically is that when you come across, like you say, headstrong women who may have some degree of foundation established or not, men who are taught to do the right thing do not recognize women as the rock in the foundation. They right. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. I'm not saying right. I'm a very headstrong woman, and I've been headstrong since the day I was born. Even my father couldn't get to me. No man can get to me. Okay, so you know what I'm saying? So I understand what that means. Because now here's the question: what if it's a headstrong woman? Then you have to what I said. In other words, men who are raised don't think that women are. Let me say this. I have to put this on record. I run my family. I'm just gonna come out and say that shit. I run my shit. I run my family. My husband is the extension of running the family, but I run my family. Okay, when it comes to decisions, I have the last say so. Okay, Don. So you asked me yesterday. What? I have the first say so. Okay, so here's what I'm saying. Don, you asked me yesterday. What does a man do when he comes across that woman that I told you? He stops his pursuit and he has to pursue someone else. Doesn't make me follow the line. Pardon me? So like a grown ass man who sees the benefit of the situation falls in line. He assumes his position. He becomes the king of the fucking household. I mean, it's very look at that. It's very in other people's castles. They build their own. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. You serious? Okay. So you're saying queens, hold on. So you're totally neglecting the entire aspect of the fact that the king's position in most matriarchal society is given to him because of the fucking queen. Oh, well, you're literally saying that the king is because of the queen. You're saying niggas don't move in the bigger shit? Let me acknowledge what you just said.
Yep. He heard matriarchy, and that's when it hit him. Don't miss when homegirl said he falls in line. He falls in line. He falls in line. You, like I said before, you imagine working your butt off, dealing with all type of crap from racist white folks to come home to a chocolate dipped black or a chocolate dipped woman who thinks and moves like a white man, who wants you to bow down, who wants you to assume the position. Dear black women, I don't know what type of weird BDSM kink fantasies y'all got going on in your mind, right? You imagine homegirl said you fall in line. He said, if this man has his act together, she talking about you still fall in line. And then the other lady made sure, she said, I gotta put it on record. I run my family. She stopped the stream to say, hey, let me make sure I put it on record. I run my family. My husband or my man or whoever she's talking about is an extension. Oh, you imagine? She said he's an extension. And the reason why this is important today, the reason why we're covering this, is because the Diallos of the world keep on chastising and trying to discipline and speak down to black men in a vacuum, as if on the other side is not this. And my question, all right, Diallo, all right, FD signifier, fine. Where are the women to say something about this? Where are they? Where are they? Right? We have thousands of talking heads, black women talking heads, pundits, right? Where are they? That's what I thought. And KMS says, and thank you for the super chat. Train tracks, train tracks, train tracks. The Vague mag cover with Rihanna. The Vogue mag cover with Rihanna leading ASAP Rocky, holding their baby, embodies how black women see themselves, black men, and their community. True. That is why black women resonated with it, and black men found it problematic. Black women want serfs. They definitely want serfs. And yeah, the Vogue magazine, yes, yeah, yeah. And you know what's funny is I think who said something about it. Either was FD or Diallo. One of them actually did say something about it, like black men were speaking about. Look at the dynamics is all messed up, and it's fascinating watching because I'm all over these YouTube streets, y'all, all over them. And it's fascinating listening to black men like Dr. Jared Ball and sometimes Pascal Robert and Jason Miles and Diallo Kenyatta, and it's you're watching them mock us. You're watching them foreign men in a foreign land calling us nig cells. You're watching them mock us. I'm all over these black YouTube streets. Black women ain't saying nothing, y'all. Not a goddamn. They're not saying anything. Like I said before, every once in a while, Julia says something. Kim Foster is problematic as hell. She maybe say something, and then put it behind a Patreon wall. Maybe, possibly. T Noir bury a 5-minute segment in the middle of an hour-long video essay. Maybe. Fab socialism will kind of maybe sort of imply, suggest something. Maybe. That's about it. That's about it. Right? So if we have a number of black women in the black community who sound just like these two women, and nobody's really saying anything, the men ain't saying nothing. The women are barely make mention of it occasionally, maybe, possibly. But everybody goes 10 tons on men, on black men. Well, then shut the hell up then. FD, you don't get to put your thumb on the scales for black women. Not no more. He said it straight up on my channel. Thank you for admitting it. You're so deathly afraid that one of these young brothers is going to take what you're saying about black women sounding like this. You're so deathly afraid that they're going to take it the wrong way that you don't say anything. Fine then. Continue to do what the Steve Harveys have been doing. Right? Where we raise our boys and our men to be quote unquote resilient, and the women take advantage of it and come to you with some other man's kids, come to you with some white man's kids, oops, come to you after they've been to bust down for some white dudes, yikes, some Latino dudes, after they engaged in same-sex relationships as a way to stick their middle finger to black men. Now they tired and lonely, or they tired of getting beat on, oops. But we're raising our boys to be resilient in the face of all of that, right? No one's telling black women to be resilient to black men's effery. No one. No one's telling black women to be resilient to black men's effery. No one. Not even black men in the black manosphere are telling black women to do that. But FD talking about resilience to black women's hypocrisy and effery. If you don't get the entire hell out of here. We got people all the way from Iyanla Vanzant saying she raised her son to stand in it. Oh boy. With black women. You got FD talking about resilience. You have Diallo Kenyatta speaking to black women like they don't real like they don't know what Dr. Umar Johnson is, like they didn't understand what Derek Jackson is. Derek Jackson, you want to talk about dog their wife? Derek Jackson dogged his wife, and guess what? He still got black women followers like crazy. Dr. Umar Johnson can't wait to lecture some black men on whether they're having sex with non-black women or not. Whether they're in a relationship with non-black women or not. Yep. So on that note, everyone, I know Dr. Thunder is streaming, and I think Game Changer's probably going to be streaming in a little bit. Um, I had to cover this today because Mr. Z is tired of being mocked by these people, right? They act like they don't get it. You notice I'm not talking. I am not critiquing mouth breathing idiots. I'm not critiquing mush mouth losers. I'm speaking about PhDs, Dr. Jared Ball. I'm talking about Diallo Kenyatta, who's married to a PhD. This is a intelligent, educated brother with a master's degree, and he is married to a PhD. I'm speaking about FD Signifier, who almost was a PhD, master's degree up. I think he might even have two master's degrees, if I'm not mistaken. We're not talking about mouth breathing idiots here. We're talking about people that just refuse to accept what is. The women said if it ain't a patriarchy, it will be a matriarchy. And we'll talk all that anarchy relationships, and we'll talk all that egalitarianism, and we'll talk all that feminism, and we don't mean, when we say feminism, we mean women run. Y'all heard what Mr. Z said. Men's funds, women runs. Once again, men's funds, women runs. Right? They just accept that's what the ladies are saying. Right? And we're gonna play that clip one more again, and then we'll end out. I want to play this at the end so y'all can have it to listen to. By the way, please listen to Sarge Willie Pete. Right? I think he did a great job. I think he said he's done, and you can hear it in him. I saw some of you respond saying that last night, and yeah, he does. He's over it. He's over it now that it's this blatant now. Yeah, he's over it. He is, and I get it. I'm not. Shout out to Charles and everybody else, PK and everybody calling me a masochist. And we'll play this one more again. Here we go.
Alright, so I just want to add in, yes, I want to confess that what he is saying is absolutely true. And the way he's thinking about it and the way he's expressing it is true for very many men. I myself ruined a wonderful, fantastic, benevolent relationship because I moved when I got the fucking inclination to move. But when he got the inclination to move, it was like, nigga, you got me fucked up. Like, I absolutely would not move on this nigga say so. And I moved a lot on my own personal motherfucking say so. You understand what I'm saying? So it was very clear that it was like, did you want to do what you want to do? And I'm like, pretty much. I definitely ruined that relationship because I listened to myself. But I will say this, I am better off after that relationship without that nigga. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm admitting to you that yes, it clearly contributed to me and that nigga not being me and that nigga no more. Okay? And it was my husband. But after that shit, after I learned to fucking listen to me, nigga, and I realized what I was doing, I was like, it was my business place. So I'm not saying that all men. Don't get me wrong. I don't want anybody to be confused and thinking that I'm suggesting that all men know what they're doing. I'm not saying that all men have good leadership skills or even know where they're going. I'm not saying all men. that when you come across, like you said, headstrong women who may have some degree of a foundation established or not, men who are taught to do the right thing do not recognize women as the rock in the foundation. They right. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying right. I'm a very headstrong woman, and I've been headstrong since the day I was born. Even my father couldn't get to me. Nobody, no man can get to me. Okay, so you know what I'm saying? So I understand what that means. Because now here's the question: what if it's a headstrong woman? Then that's what I said. In other words, men who are raised don't think that women are. Let me say this: I have to put this on record. I run my family. I'm just gonna come out and say that shit. I run my shit. I run my family. My husband is the extension of running the family, but I run my family. Okay. When it comes to decisions, I have the last say so. Okay, Don. So you asked me yesterday. What? I have the first say so. Okay, so here's what I'm saying. Don, you asked me yesterday. What does a man do when he comes across that woman? And I told you, he stops his pursuit and he has to pursue someone else. Doesn't make me false alarm. Pardon me? Like a grown-ass man who sees the benefit of the situation falls in line. He assumes his position. He becomes the king of the fucking household. I mean, it's very managing in other people's castles. They build their own. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Are you serious? Okay. So you're saying queens, hold on. So you're totally neglecting the entire aspect of the fact that the king's position in most matriarchal society is given to him because of the fucking queen. Oh, well. You're literally saying that you're saying niggas don't move in and think of shit? Let me acknowledge what you just said.
And shout out to Indigo, exactly, overstand yawn. Right? So y'all heard that? By the way, does it sound like they're negotiating with these men? Does it sound like they're bargaining with these men? Right? Does it sound like a egalitarian relationship? Does it sound anarchical? Huh? Or does it sound like these women do what they want to do and the men got to ask for permission? You imagine? Huh? I said it. The women said, either through words literally like this or through actions, either you run it or I run it. That egalitarianism, that sound nice. I hear egalitarianism and I hear matriarchy. That's cute. It's Spain Man said, this is where you say you win, babe, and get the F on down. Exactly. You're gonna start running, exactly. And the most single women in America are, black women like this, like these women, are talking all this crap, and then they wonder why black women so goddamn single. If black men ain't even getting down with your program, you think white men are? You think Latino men are? Who's signing up to be part of a gynocracy? No wonder so many of y'all in same-sex loving relationships beating the crap out of each other. Because y'all both think y'all run things, and y'all gotta put hands on each other to establish which one run what. While both of y'all cheat on each other with some man. Oops. Let's call a thing a thing. Black women can't make it work with black men. They try to get black men to bow down. It ain't happening. They throw a temper tantrum. They end up dating other women. Then they start world wrestling in those houses. That's why y'all the most same-sex loving women. That's why y'all so goddamn single. Ain't nobody signed up for your goddamn gynocracy, bro. Not black men, not white men, not Latino men. Let's be honest. Not white women, not Latina women, oops. And not even other black women. That's why y'all fighting each other. Huh? So now we have black women just straight up admitting it. Now what? To Diallo Kenyatta, to Skip Coon. Now what? Huh? Who's gonna say the black community is a patriarchy? Black men? Not never. Black women? Clearly not. But you have black women saying the black community is a matriarchy. Ooh. Because it is. And didn't FD pretty much admit that also when he spoke to as and Ed is right. Ed pressed him and he said it. Because that's the part you notice oftentimes you have with the academics you gotta press them to admit that. But with the one with black women who didn't get the memo that they're supposed to pretend like it's not, the ones that want to flex power, you don't gotta press them. They'll just offer that up. They'll volunteer that information. But the academics like FD, you gotta press them to admit it. Huh? So on that note, everyone, we will pause right here truly. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content. I know Dr. Thunder is streaming. I think Game Changer might be streaming. Um, and y'all go check out other non-Manosphere content. Um, yeah, because it's when you check out other non-Manosphere content that you get these type of things, right? Ishmael, don't get your blood pressure up. Don't get your blood pressure up early in this morning. And Ishmael says, "Fall in line, Z. Listening to that, Ish got my blood pressure up. The audacity! Look, they gotta hear it. This is not for us in the Black Manosphere. We already know that's how they think. We already know that's what they're saying. We already know. But Diallo either doesn't know or is pretending not to. FD either well he knows he's pretending like he don't get it. He can't even pretend like he don't know. He admitted it. He admitted it to Ed, and he spoke around it to T-Nor. So he know. You see what Indigo says? Ishmael, life is way too short to put up with that, bro. Hey, you imagine men's lives are tend to be shorter than women's lives anyway. Um, and then on top of that, then you dealing with some insufferable a-hole wannabe Princella queen maker ass woman. The only difference is she don't eat vagina, and maybe she does. You imagine you're already a black man in a anti-black white hegemonic society. And then you have a girlfriend or a wife that think like this? Yeah, right. And then the FDs and the Diallos and the Dr. Jared Balls and the foreign man in the foreign land over here mocking you and making fun of you and acting like they don't know what you're talking about. When the whole goddamn community, black community is this. And Mr. Shook to You says, and he had to get this in before I close out. Mr. Shook to You says, single black woman equals I'm effing 3-5 different guys. Hey, if those paternity test shows are to be believed, I'm just saying, how often does that woman, that black woman, bring on a second guy, maybe a third guy? And if we don't even want to go to that, look at what's the paternity show with the sister, with the middle-aged sister, and how often did we see women in their 40s, their mom just passed, and then they want to find out if that secret that they've been hearing their whole life is true or not. How often was it that they bought in the guy they thought was their dad, the guy they heard was their dad, and then neither one of those men is their dad? You imagine? So the guy that you was raised was your dad isn't your dad. The one you heard rumors of is your real dad isn't your dad. So that means your mom's 70 something years old. She had you in her 20s. That means your mom was at least sleeping with 3 different men when she was 24 years old. At least 3 different men at the same time. Huh? And as Sarge said, what the data shows us, 40 some odd percent of men that are what single fathers have more than one children from, oh no, it's actually 30 some odd. I don't even think it broke. Did it even break 2/3? I think it was like 32% of men that are single fathers have more than one child, while 60 some odd percent, or is it 50 some odd percent? The 60 some odd percent of black women who are single mothers have more than one child from a different dude. Something along those lines, right? I'm getting that a little messed up, but it's a good like 15, like 20-point spread difference between black men with multiple baby mothers and black women with multiple baby fathers. It's something like a 15-20% point spread, right? Mr. Shook to you says relationships equal serial monogamist. I don't even think these people are doing that, to tell you the truth. I think it's negative liberty, y'all. Me and PK had it right a couple of years ago. We're still right about that. It's negative liberty. Black women just want to practice negative liberty. They see that as liberation. They see that as freedom. I think that's where Sarge Willie Pete, I think eventually he's going to get there also. It really is negative liberty. Negative liberty is liberatory to them. It's screw all conventional norms, rules, right? Standards, social standards, screw all of it. That's why they're having sex with more than one man, because they feel free doing it, because nobody could tell. In other words, I'm not following none of the rules. None of them. I pull up to work late. I cheat on my man. I'm abusive to my kids. I show up to events late. Right? I don't know if I want to be, that's why bisexual, I don't know if I want to be straight. I don't know if I want to be lesbian, because it's negative liberty. I don't want to screw all the norms, all the rules, all the standards, all of them. Y'all notice, Shay Sade and I covered it, Shay Sade covered it. They were talking about Okomi and all these other different spiritualities they messing with. They want to break the rules even with that. They want to rip the whole rule book apart. So even when they give white baby Jesus the middle finger, and Muhammad the middle finger, even when they go try to say, you know what, I don't want to do anything with these established religions. Fine, cool. All right, we're black. Okay, cool. Right? You want to go and get in touch with something different? All right, cool. Guess what? Even when they go over there, what can we do about these rules? I don't know. I don't like these rules. These standards, these rules, and then you have to get certificates. Do I have to? So for me, the way I think of it is the women that we're describing, the black women we're describing, don't all rules, norms, no matter how just, no matter how benign, no matter how not oppressive, they say it's screw all of them. Okay, thank you, Mr. Shook to you. Mr. Shook to you says 65% of American black women with two or more children have multiple baby fathers. Insane. Insane. And that's what I think we, particularly on this side of the Black Manosphere, understand. That I think FD and Dr. Jared Ball and Diallo Kenyatta and Foreign Man in a Foreign Land, they struggle with that all the way from the top to the bottom. Whether we're speaking about Ebony K. Williams, whether we're speaking about Chrissy, like listen to what Ebony K. Williams said. She said, I was with the baller white dude, and I told him, yeah, I know you want me to go to the south of France, but I got other things to do. In other words, screw the way this on, on off paper, right? But rules are rules. The rule is you get the baller dude. You want to make him a husband. He's telling you to come to the south of France. You go to the south of France. And what she's saying is, yeah, about that. Nope. Chrissy tell you she's dating upper middle class dudes. She dating these white dudes. The dudes that she keep on bragging to us about. The dudes she keep on throwing in our faces. She's telling you she's dating them, but she kind of wants to engage in poly relationships. You imagine? In other words, screw the rules. Screw the rules. That's what they're all saying. That's black women's liberation. Bill de Blasio's wife, dark-skinned black woman, lesbian, married a rich white dude, the connected white dude. He becomes mayor of New York. After his mayor run, or after he's mayor, better yet, now you hear they're separated. Translation, once again, screw your rules. Even the white man, they tell him, screw your rules. Next in the dictionary, next to negative liberty, they need to have a black woman's face. No constraints, no restraints at all. Screw all of them. Right? That's what this is. Because they see it, they see all of it as oppressive. All of it. All the norms are oppressive to them. All of them. That's why they want you as a safeguard, black men in general. And Big Kev says, thank you for the super chat. They know they just play coy. I know. I know. Right? So on that note, everyone, look, I've been said I was supposed to pause. That was like 10 minutes ago. So woo! And Mr. Shook to you, we'll end out with Mr. Shook to you. And Mr. Shook to you says, I'll be hard pressed to name excuse me. I'll be hard pressed to name any black woman I know that doesn't have multiple baby daddies if they have 2 kids or more. Dang, shame. They live by different moral code. What moral code? And I think, you know what, maybe you're right, Mr. Shook to you, because BGS did say that, for men in general, the rules are the rules, and you follow the rules, and you follow the rules because the rules are the rules. And for black women, it's almost, and women in general, I want to say, but black women definitely, because they take it to another level. It's you don't do that because I know Miss Sally down the street. It's not that you ain't supposed to steal out Miss Sally's house because that's not what we do. It's don't steal out of Miss Sally's house because I know her. Right? And it's something about people in these personal relationships that's what matters, but everything else doesn't matter. Huh. I don't know how much I buy into that. I don't buy into it at all, actually. Ugh, yeah, that's a whole different conversation, right? Like I said, that negative liberty is why it's okay to be having sex with, even though it's so dangerous and unhealthy, right? So dangerous and unhealthy to be having sex with three, what better yet, two, three, four, maybe even five different men at the same time, and potentially not have any of them using any type of contraceptive. And you yourself not using any. Negative liberty. I don't want to follow no rules, no norms. I don't want to buy into any constraints. Anything I see is constraining or restraining to doing whatever I want to do on a whim, however I want to do it on a whim. It's oppressive, right? It's oppressive. And so, on that note, for real, y'all, let's pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great, great, great rest of y'all day. Go check out other Black Manosphere content. Go check out other non-Manosphere content. Read a book. Read an article. I have more stuff that I want to put up. Shout out to Black Socrates. Shout out to Sauchi. I'm shouting them out because I actually want to post stuff for them. If I can find what I'm looking for. But yeah. And we'll end right there. Y'all have a great, great rest of y'all day. Mr. Z out.